Tasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhambitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome back to the Saturday and Sunday discussion on Sri Harinam Chintamani. We have started with the 15th chapter, which is the last chapter of Sri Harinam Chintamani, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inquiring from Haridas Thakur about Nama Rasa. That was the point of discussion, if you remember. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquires about Nama Rasa Jigyasa, then the Rasa Tattva, Haridas Thakur starts explaining the science of Rasa Tattva and how the Lord is Akhanda Rasa or Akhila Rasamrita Murti or Rasika Shekara, and he is Shaktiman, and then there are his Shaktis, and the reciprocation between the Shaktiman and the Shaktis, there is Rasa, exchange of Rasa. And we saw that Krishna is Purusha, and what he enjoys, the Prakriti. The Prakriti he enjoys, that is the internal energy of the Lord, internal potency, and the personified form is Srimati Radharani. The Jivas are also Prakriti, but they are Tatastha Shakti. They can be under the control of the internal potency or the control of the external potency. They are superior energy, means they are spiritual by nature, by constitution. So the living entities are the servants of the Lord. So the whole Shakti and Shaktiman Tattva we discussed. And these three kinds of potencies, the Antaranga, the Bhairanga, and the Tatastha Shakti, these are just principal divisions. There are unlimited potencies of the Lord. So the Antaranga Shakti is Chit Shakti. From the Chit Shakti, what all manifests? The Lord's abode, the Lord's beauty, the Lord's name, all these manifest from the Antaranga Shakti. And then there is the Maya Shakti, which is a reflection of the spiritual potency and the Maya potency by which the external world is created. The Jiva Shakti, they are one and different. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Abhinnatvam Nam. There is simultaneous difference and non-difference between the Jiva and the Lord. Bheda, there is Bheda. Abheda. Abheda means there is no Bheda also. And these Jiva Shaktis are of two types, Nitya Mukta and Nitya Bhadda. The Nitya Mukta are free from Maya's prison and they are always engaged eternally in the service of the Lord. And those who are Nitya Bhadda, they have turned their face away from Krishna. And within this Nitya Bhadda, there are two states. Those who may turn their faces away from Lord Krishna, or they may turn their faces towards Lord Krishna. That means somebody who has taken up the bhakti process, somebody has not taken up the bhakti process, or the spiritual process, you can say in one sense. They are Antarmukha and Bahirmukha. Antarmukha, they stay in the association of sadhus and take Krishna's name so that they can ultimately attain Krishna's abode. So then how the Rasa Nama Sarupa is there, that the holy name is Rasa, and Rasa Rupa Sarupa, that the holy name is nectar, holy Lord's form is nectar, and Rasa Guna Sarup, how the Lord's qualities are nectar, and Rasa Leela Sarup, and how the Lord's pastimes are also nectar. And we are not able to experience these nectars all the time. Sometimes in festivals, in the association of very pure devotees, we just get a little glimpse, a little drop of it. But always they are nectar. But because we are full of anarthas and full of aparadhs, we are not able to relish this nectar fully. And then what is Bhakti Sarupa? Bhakti Sarupa is the combination of the Ladini and the Samvit potency. This is what we discussed in the last class, if you remember. At the stage of Bhava, the Ladini and the Samvit potency together combine and form what is the Bhakti Shakti. And then we can understand this verse. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Pravartan. Without the potency of Krishna, one cannot transform others into devotees. So only at the stage of Bhava, these two potencies combine. And by this potency, he can, by his association, give others the Bhakti Lata Bij. I gave a mundane example of how when the male is, he's young and he's having the potency, and when he impregnates the female, then it can give birth to a child. So this is just to understand what this Bhakti Shakti is. Then what is Bhakti Kriya? So Bhakti Kriya is what we had discussed in the last class a little bit. That when the flower of the holy name completely blossoms, the goddess of devotion manifests the ingredients of rasa, transcendental mellows. So real bhakti in one sense begins at the stage of Bhava Bhakti. At the stage of Bhava Bhakti. Till then it's all practice, sadhana bhakti. Sadhana means practice. And the goal of sadhana bhakti is to attain Bhava Bhakti. So when we attain that Bhava Bhakti, then real bhakti begins in one sense. So what happens at the stage of Bhava Bhakti? Rasera Samagri Prakashiya Sarveshwari. So Sarveshwari means the goddess of devotion here, or it can refer to even Srimati Radharani. because bhakti is exclusively the treasure of Srimati Radharani. And whatever bhakti we might possess, it is just some small, tiny, tiny drop of what is coming from Srimati Radharani only. So the goddess of devotion manifests the ingredients of rasa. Vishuddha Chinmaya Jiva Labhiya Swarupa Se Rase Pravesha E Aparupa, attaining his spiritual form. And I mentioned this attaining of the spiritual form also happens at the stage of bhava. In the stage when one starts his practice of Raganuga Bhakti, he is more or less a self-realized soul. He has realized, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. Okay, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. So what is the spiritual body? The spiritual body development begins with Raganuga Bhakti at the stage of Nishtha, where he internally in his meditation, in the chanting, he is situated in Vraja and he contemplates. There is deep remembrance of Krishna. And we have seen that if you remember the dashas, the Shravana dasha, yes, here, the Shravana dasha, the Varana dasha, the Smarana dasha, the Apana dasha, and the Sampati dasha. So at the stage of Varana dasha, one is at the stage of Nishtha, and then stages of remembering of Krishna, internal remembrance of Krishna always is there. So from here, from Nishtha stage, one starts developing his spiritual body. The spiritual development of the through internal meditation of the spiritual body begins. And at the stage of Apandasha, which is Bhava, at this stage, one's spiritual body is revealed. One's spiritual body is fully manifested. And the Smarandasha is usually the stage of Ruchi and Asakti, where you go through these 5 different states of remembrance with deeper degrees: Smaran, Dhyana, Dhyana, Anusmriti, and Samadhi. And Sampati Dasha is the stage of Prema Bhakti, where one completely attains perfection of life. So this is what this verse is mentioning. Attaining the spiritual form means that is the Apana Dasha. Then he enters into Rasa. This is very beautiful and wonderful. Aparupa, this is wonderful. Oh, you've attained Rasa. Okay. Now, Samagri, Rasa Samagri were mentioned. Rasa Samagri were mentioned. I have discussed this in the beginning of 15th chapter when we discussed the Rasa Tattva. But still, I would like to ask the devotees, what are the ingredients of Rasa and which is the main ingredient? Anyone would like to answer? What are the ingredients of Rasa and which are the main ingredients? Yes, Vinandra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandat Pranam.
Yeah.
Guruji, it's a Sthai Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Sanchari Bhav, and Satvika Bhav.
Wonderful, excellent, very nice. At least to understand this, that there are these 5 components of Rasa, it's a very good thing. So now we'll go into more into the science of Rasa. And don't think that this is a very philosophical and a very technical subject and I need not know it. Rasa is what we are always, into. The jiva cannot live without rasa. And we are doing this rasa in the form of exchange of the jiva with matter, which is called as Swargiya Rasa or Parthiva Rasa, Parthiva Rasa or the material rasa. The gulab jamun and I, are relishing, enjoying matter, sense gratification. That is Parthiva Rasa. And there is the rasa in the perverted form, in the form of relationships in this world, which is called as Swargiya Rasa or mental rasa. But the spiritual rasa is completely on the spiritual platform with the soul and the supreme soul. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to discuss the ingredients of rasa in detail. So let us go into this discussion now. Rasera Vibhav Alamban. So the first component of the rasa is mentioned. Without the Stahi Bhav, the other ingredients do not manifest. Please remember that. There has to be Stahi Bhav. Stahi Bhav is the permanent emotion, that is Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya. And only when the Sai Bhav is manifested, then there is Vibhav. Following that is Anubhav. Then there can be Sanchari Bhavs and the Satviki Bhavs. So first he is discussing Vibhav. Rasera Vibhava Alamban. So this is from verses 28 and 29. Two verses are mentioning this. So what I will be doing is, I have discussed Rasa Tattva with all the charts, but as I'm discussing Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation in the Harinam Chintamani, I will again go back to those charts and further explain it. And then if you still have any questions, we will take it up. Okay. So let us now see Rasera Vibhava Alamban. The Alamban, primary causes of Rasa Vibhav, ecstatic love. Rasera Vibhava say Tattva Alamban, Tad Ashraya Bhakta, Tad Vishaya Krishna Dhana. The primary causes of ecstatic love is called Alamban. So a beautiful definition of Alamban. So if there has to be love, the reciprocation has to be between two. That is called as Alamban. There is the Vishaya Alamban and the Ashraya Alamban. The Vishaya, Ashraya Alamban is the Bhakta. The Bhakt who possesses love for Krishna. And love he possesses towards whom? Towards Krishna. That is the Vishaya. Or sometimes what we call it as the object and the subject. Or Vishay and Ashraya. Vishay and Ashraya are more Sanskrit terms. Vishay and Ashraya. So Tad Vishaya Krishna Dhana. Krishna is the Vishay, Alamban, and the devotee is the Ashraya Alamban. Alamban is, reciprocation or the primary causes of ecstatic love, because love means there have to be two. That is called as Alamban. So within Vibhav there is Alamban and Udipan, and within Alamban is the Vishaya Alamban and the Ashraya Alamban. This is divided into the lover, Ashraya, the devotee, and the object of love, Vishaya, the great treasure, that is Lord Krishna. He is the great treasure of all love. He is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. There cannot be no one as greater as Krishna as a lover. So the moment we repose our love in things of this world, or even to the people in this world, that love is not springing from the soul. The objects of the love, they are temporary, and ultimately they cannot give real satisfaction to the soul, and they will be destroyed. So Krishna is the great treasure of love. Krishna is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. Krishna has all these wonderful qualities. The soul is eternal, the supreme soul is eternal, and the eternal rasa reciprocated by the soul with the supreme soul is actually real love. The moment we repose our love to any other object of this world or to the people of this world, we only experience misery, dejection, rejection. So real love only exists between the soul and the supreme soul in rasa, in spiritual rasa. That's real love. Once Srila Prabhupada got one of his disciples married. So the Prabhu was very much excited that, now I'm going to have my wife and I can love my wife. So he was asking a question, Prabhupada, what is the duty of one who is married? What he should do? Prabhupada gave a standard answer that he should cook prasadam, offer it to the deities, put bhoga in one sense, and he should go out in his house, call out 3 times, is there anyone to take prasad? Is there anyone to take prasad? And if nobody is there, then he can have with his family members. So he's repeatedly asking this question. What about love, Prabhupada? Love, Prabhupada said, there is no love in this material world. Love is only for Krishna. So right from day one, even Prabhupada was preaching, he was very, very emphatic in expressing this point, that love is only for Krishna. So the object of love, Vishaya, the great treasure, that is Lord Krishna. Further, next verse. Namakare avarita avirata bhakta mahashaya kripakari rupa guna lilara udhaya. When a saintly devotee chants the holy name without stopping, mark this point, without stopping, the Lord's form, qualities and pastimes mercifully appear before him. So this is regarding a little bit about the Alamban, the Vishaya Alamban and the Ashraya Alamban. Now within Vibhav there is Alamban and there is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban, but there is also Uddipan. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to discuss Uddipan. So I will just show you in the chart so that you are clear. So there are these all bhavas combined to give rise to rasa, and the main component is Sthahi Bhav. Only when there is Sthahi Bhav, there is Vibhav, Anubhav, Sanchari Bhavs and Satiki Bhavs manifesting. Without the Sthahi Bhav, these cannot exist. And only when the Sthahi Bhav combines with all other bhavas, it gives rise to rasa. We have discussed this, but again, just I'm revising. And within Vibhav, there is Alamban. The primary causes of ecstatic love, there is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban. And there is also Uddipan. So now, Alamban I mentioned, support for love or reciprocation. Love means two. There is Vishaya and Ashraya. So now I will go to Uddipan. So Uddipan, in one verse, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, Rasera Vibhava Uddipan. It is Vibhava Uddipan now. There is Vibhav Alamban, there is Vibhav Uddipan. Okay. I hope this is clear. And let me take this verse, and then if you have questions, we can take up. Uddipana Krishna Rupa Guna Adhikayata Alambana Uddipana Vibhave Samyuta. Lord Krishna's form, Krishna Rupa, qualities, Guna Adhika, and other features are Uddipans, secondary causes of ecstatic love. So there is the primary cause of ecstatic love, that is Alamban, in which there is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban. We did not see the footnote. Let us see the footnote. Okay. In Rasa, Sthahi Bhav is one of the perfect bhavas. So there has to be Sthahi Bhav, a permanent emotion. Like the mother has a Sthahi Bhav towards the child, that's Vatsalya. There are 4 other bhavas by which one also attains Rasa. The Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav and Sanchari Bhav. These 4 are the ingredients of Rasa. Samagri, they are called as Samagri in Sanskrit. They are Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav or Sanchari Bhav. Vibhav is divided into Alamban, the main cause of love, and Uddipan, the secondary causes of love. So without the Alamban, the main cause of love, there cannot be Rasa, and these Uddipans are many. That's why there are secondary causes. It is mentioned as causes. Here it is the main cause of love. When the mother has love for the child, that is the main cause of the love, Vatsalya Prem. And there can be many other secondary factors for, stimulating that love, what the mother has. Like the mother, she is at home, she enters the child's room and she sees the toys, she'll remember the child. Her Vatsalya Prem will manifest in the heart. Or she sees the beautiful picture of the child, and seeing that picture, her Vatsalya mood will increase. Or suddenly uh, she'll hear the bus stopping at the gate, and she understands, oh, it's 4 o'clock and my child has come. Then the child opens the gate and loudly shouts, "Mommy!" So the mother is still at home. She has not seen the Vishay Alamban till now. But all these sounds of the bus, the horn, the gate opening, and the child calling out "Mommy," all these act as Udipan. So there are secondary causes of love. So this is Udipan. Alamban is divided into Vishay, the object of love, and Ashray, the lover. The lover is the devotee of Lord Krishna. The object of love is Lord Krishna himself. The Uddipans, things that stimulate the feeling of love, are the things that begin with Krishna's form and qualities. So Krishna's beautiful form, Krishna's wonderful qualities, they all act as Uddipan. When the Alamban and Uddipan meet in Vibhav, the result is the appearance of Anubhav. So what follows after Vibhav is Anubhav, subsequent emotions. The next result is ecstasy of Satviki Bhav. Then the Satviki Bhavs manifest. Gradually, Sanchari Bhavs also appear. So this is how the gradual step by step from Vibhav will the Anubhavas appear, and then the Satviki Bhavs, and then the Vibhichari Bhavs. As the Stahi Bhav becomes more and more steady and more deeper, these can manifest. So I hope these points are clear about Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, and Sanchari Bhav. And we discuss now Uddipan. The Alamban and Uddipans are the two parts of Vibhav, the causes of ecstatic love. Something has to cause that ecstatic love. Directly the Vishay can cause, then it is Vishay Alamban, or things related to Krishna. And if you remember, in the slides, we discussed about this Uddipans. Yes, Uddipans in different rasas. Satya, the bugle, the horn, the stick. Krishna, when Mother Yashoda in the morning makes him ready, so Krishna blows the bugle, and all the sakas have been waiting when we can go to the forest. So immediately, because of the bugle or the horn blown by Krishna, their ecstatic sakyaras, which is their stahibhav, immediately manifest. And they all rush towards Krishna, and then they all start going towards the forest. In the Vatsalya, the ornaments, the Makara Kundala, the curly hairs, the ankle bells of Krishna when he's playing at home, these all stimulate the Stahi Bhav, that's the Vatsal Bhav of Mother Yashoda. In the Madhuri Ras, the flute of Krishna, the full moon night, the Sharad Purnima night, and all this, and the beautiful form of Sham Sundar, these are, in fact, the term sometimes we can use as spiritual sense objects. So, as sadhakas, it's not that, oh, I don't have Stahi Bhav because I'm not at Bhava stage. So, these ingredients only manifest at that time. But as sadhakas, we have some attraction for Krishna, some attraction for deities, some attraction for some activities of devotional service. So seeing the beautiful picture of Radha Krishna, there is a natural attraction in the heart. Everyone has a unique attraction, maybe to Radha Sham Sundar, Radha Gopinath, or Radha Ras Bihari, or Radha Madhav. So the more we expose ourselves to these spiritual sense objects, so the more our heart will get purified. Otherwise, the material stimulus will attract us to material forms. We get attracted to material forms and they agitate us. So instead of that, we divert to spiritual sense objects, which will purify us quickly and elevate us. So we can use these uddipans, which actually manifest at the stage of bhava, when the sthayi bhava is manifested. But still, as sadhakas, we should try to remember everything related to Krishna. Like we know that pastime of Mukunda, who was the Vaidya who went to see the king, and the king was being fanned. And just seeing the peacock feather, he went to such an ecstasy, remembering Krishna, that he rolled and fell down there in ecstasy. So this might not happen, but we should always, anything related to Krishna, oh, the peacock feather, oh, this where Krishna wears, we should try to remember Krishna at least. There might not be any ecstasy, at least remembrance of Krishna is there. So like that, remembering Krishna continuously, the chit will get purified and we can advance to higher levels quickly. Okay, so any questions regarding now the vibhav and the uddipan, the rasera samagri, the first primary cause, alamban, vishaya alamban, ashaya alamban, and uddipans. Any questions anyone has? Then we can go to the next one if you want. Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, I will ask questions. Then we can participate nicely. Okay, first question to Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad.
Yes. Which are the 5 ingredients of rasa and which is the main ingredient in that?
Sthai is the main ingredient.
Sthayi bhav.
Sthai bhav. Then sanchari. And I'm forgetting.
Okay. Start from first. Vibhav.
Yeah, the first is vibhav, anubhav, sthai.
No, sthayi bhav is already included.
Yeah, and
satviki bhav.
Satviki bhav and sanchari bhav.
Sanchari bhav, yes, excellent. Okay. So now, where is next? Anand Prabhuji was there. Suddenly, is missing. What happened? Because I'll ask questions. Okay. Virendra Yadav has answered, so I'll not ask him. Geeta Mataji. Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is Vibhav? What is Vibhav?
I will not be able to tell the definition, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Now, you need not tell the definition. You're a mother, definitely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So you have a child. Okay.
Yes.
So between the mother and the child, which is the sthayi bhav?
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya. So the reciprocation between the mother and child, that is vibhav alamban. So there is, mother has love for the child, Vatsalya prem, and the child is the object of love. So the primary cause of the, of love between the mother and child, that is the vishaya alamban and the ashaya alamban. Who is the ashaya alamban?
Mother.
Mother. And who is the vishaya alamban?
Child.
Child. And is it not true that the child also has love for the mother? So from the child's perspective, who is the vishaya alamban? From the child's viewpoint, mother. And for the child, what is the ashaya alamban? Who is the ashaya alamban?
The child also.
The child, yes. So this is both ways. So we develop love for Krishna. So Krishna is the Vishay for us. Krishna also has love for us. So for Krishna then, we become the Vishay and his heart becomes the Ashray. And that's why if you see the whole Bhagavad Gita verses from this point, then it is, amazing. Krishna says, Tesham satate yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Priti purvakam means he has love. So he is doing his bhajan to the object of love, that is Krishna. Tesham satate yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamavate. So I will give him the intelligence. So Krishna reciprocates the love what is with Priti Purvakam. When we chant, Krishna reciprocates. Krishna also reciprocates that love. So whole Bhagavad Gita verses we can see like this. Okay, so then, okay, Madan Deshpande Prabhuji, what is Uddipan then? What is Uddipan? There's no response. Okay, we'll go down. Vikram Prabhuji, what is Uddipan?
I don't know, Prabhuji. I don't remember, Prabhuji. Undipan. Sorry.
Okay. You are there in the discussion now or no?
Yes, I was there, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Okay, then Sunita Mataji, what is Uddipan?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. I may not be able to give a definition of Uddipan Prabhuji.
Yeah, just explain in your own words.
Yes, Prabhuji, just give me a minute. Uddipan means what you explained. I'll just tell that when a mother sees the paraphernalia of a child, that is toys or bag or his clothes, she feels affection for the child. That
Yes.
the love is Uddipit in Marathi.
Yes. These are secondary causes of love.
Yes. These
Krishna's
are second.
wonderful qualities, Krishna's beautiful face, and
Yes.
anything related to Krishna.
Yes.
The flute, the peacock feather, the horn, all these are Uddipans, secondary causes of love. Okay, fine. So we will go ahead. Is everyone clear about Alamban and Uddipan, which is part of Vibhav? Everyone is clear about Vibhav. Vibhav is that which stimulates love, or that which stimulates the Stahi Bhav. We have to have a clear understanding of this, otherwise we cannot enter into Rasa. We cannot understand the science of Rasa. Is everyone clear? Anyone has any doubts? You can raise it up now. Otherwise, there's no point in going ahead. Okay, 2 questions. Yes, Satanand Chaitanya Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Adhan Pranam. Prabhu, this Alamban, can you just repeat with a simple example so that I can always correlate?
Yes. Okay. So again, I'll share my screen here. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning the primary causes of ecstatic love is called Alamban. The love primarily has to be between two, mother and child, lover and beloved. So that support thing, that the primary cause of love between two is actually Alamban. And within this Alamban, there is the Vishaya Alamban and the Ashraya Alamban. The object of love and the abode of love. So Alamban means support, or the primary cause of love, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning. Because to love, there have to be two. There cannot be one. Love cannot be one-sided. It has to be from both sides. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that is what is called as Alamban. And Uddipans in the Vishaya, anything which further stimulates that love. Like the gopis have Madhurya Ras towards the Kaishori form of Krishna, and the Sharad Purnima night, the playing of the flute, these all act as Uddipan to further stimulate that Sahi Bhav, that is Madhuri Bhav. So that is Uddipan. Is it clear now?
Yes, Prabhu. That means Uddipan is totally dependent on Alamban, the primary.
Yes. It does depend. These are secondary causes of love. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned. These are secondary causes. And even for your kind information, without the Sahi Bhav, there cannot be Uddipans also.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, that in sadhaka stage also, although the Sahi Bhav is not manifested for us, but we have some kind of love for Krishna, and that's why we are continuing our devotion. So anything which, related to Krishna, where we develop more attraction, especially to the deities, we should expose ourselves more and more to these things. And then slowly what will happen? We can become purified quickly and go to higher levels of consciousness. So in sadhaka stage also we can use uddipans. We see a devotee, it reminds us of Krishna. Yes, it reminds us of Krishna. So the devotees also can be like, uddipans for us to remember Krishna. We see a pure devotee, we become ecstatic. Wow, I'm having the association of the sannyasi, because he will help me to remember Krishna. So sadhakas basically, it doesn't produce rasa in one sense. There is a kind of rasa we experience, but it is not the real rasa which is experienced as bhava. But it helps us to remember Krishna, and it helps us to, you can say, solidify our spiritual rasa, which is going to manifest at the stage of bhava. That's the point. Is it clear?
Okay, yes. Prabhu, I have one confusion now. Now we learned that out of the 5 rasas, the 4 rasas are important ones. The
No, not important ones. It's not important ones. There has to be first Tahi Bhav.
Okay.
And when there is Tahi Bhav, along with that, there are the Samagri. The Samagris are there.
Okay.
So when these Samagris together combine, then they give rise to Rasa. That is the point.
Okay.
Then they give rise to Rasa. Just like, you don't have love for the child. There is no Vishaya Alamban, there is no Ashaya Alamban also. So even if the child's picture is there, the child's, paraphernalia like the toys is there, because you don't have love, there is no manifestation of Vatsalya Bhav there. Yes?
Okay.
Got this point?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that the reason that the Shant Rasa is not considered to have, like, it's not part of this Thai Bhav anywhere?
Yes. Shant Rati is there. Shant Bhav is there. But there is no reciprocation. Oh, I am here. I'll just meditate on the Lord in the Vishnu form. The Lord is very great. He is Sarvasya Dhataram Atinta Rupam. He is the controller of this universe. He is the Shashata. He is the maintainer of the universe. So this kind of awe and reverence is there. Oh, he is huge and magnanimous. Oh, I am a tiny being. What I can do? I can just sit and meditate upon him. That's it. So there is no development of reciprocations.
Okay.
So love, reciprocation of development, love means reciprocation, and that begins with Dasya Bhav. Even in Vaikuntha, Dasya Bhav it begins with. So then further, there is Sakya, then Vatsalya, and highest is Madhurya. Is it clear?
Okay, Prabhu, yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Sunita Mataji has a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, about Vibhav, I just wanted in a easy language something.
I cannot have any other easy language than this. Vibhav is that which stimulates Sahi Bhav. You have a Sahi Bhav of Vatsalya. And Vibhav means you see the face of your child, it stimulates the Vatsalya Bhav. So that's why there is Vibhav Alamban. Alamban means support or the primary cause. There is Vishaya and Ashraya. So that's why there is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban. And Uddipans are the secondary causes of the Vibhav. That's it. You have to see this all, it's all happening. But we don't understand what really it is. We are all experiencing this different rasa even in the material world, in our relationships. When the husband and wife fight together, there is no more love. So that's why, the wife doesn't cook for the husband. There is shant rasa going on between them. There is no talk, no loving reciprocations. So shant rasa is manifested that time. And, Vibhav is simply that's Vishaya and Ashraya. This is very clear. There has to be a Vishaya for that love, for the Sthayi Bhav to stimulate. So Vibhav are primary causes of manifestation of that love. And in that there is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban. It takes some time to digest. Vidya Kalena Pachati. Vidya Kalena Pachati. Just like you take food, prasadam, and it takes some time to digest the food. It takes 3-4 hours. And the whole process is going on for 18-19 hours in our system. Similarly, Vidya, when we study, don't expect that moment you study and you contemplate and you'll understand. Sometimes it takes years to realize it. So you hear and at least, okay, I'm able to understand a little bit. I'm not able to fully understand it, but you have to meditate upon it for years together. Then you'll start on digesting the subject. Is it clear, Mataji? Vibhav?
I'll try.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Actually, you said that Alamban is support. That's so easy it is to understand that Alamban is support, and Uddipan is the secondary things which support the Rasa.
Sthayi Bhav,
So
Sthayi Bhav.
in that way only, I am trying to understand Vibhava.
See,
How,
simple,
for example,
if you
Alamban
see
is
the mother,
support.
if the mother sees the child, it stimulates the Sthayi Bhav. Yes, Vatsalya. So the object, that is Vishaya, is the child. So it is Vishaya Alamban. And there is Ashraya, is the mother's heart, which is having love for the child. That is Ashraya Alamban. There is Vishaya Alamban, Ashraya Alamban. Alamban means it is the primary cause of love. Or love for love, there has to be two. So it is the primary cause of love. That's how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining. And I'm just giving an example of support so that you can understand it in a better way. Okay?
I'll try.
Takes time. Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji. Yes.
Prabhuji, this Sthai Bhav, it manifests at the stage of Bhava. And suppose we are not, in fact, not suppose it is fact, we are not at Bhava level. So
We are definitely not.
definitely not. And how can we realize, Prabhuji, how it is developing?
Can you speak a little loudly and more clearly?
How can we realize that in which Sthai Bhav we are progressing?
Now.
Yeah.
Now there is no bhav. No Sthayi Bhav. Now there is only Dasya Bhav. Sorry. We are just acting as servants of Krishna, servant of the Vaishnavas, and we are trying to serve. That's why we are Das. And we are trying to cultivate devotional service. At the stage of Nishtha, when one is qualified for Raganuga Sadhana, one gets an idea of which mood he wants to, serve Krishna, whether it is Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya. And that with the expert spiritualist guidance, because his heart is quite purified now. Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevayan bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. He has attained Naishtiki Bhakti. So at that time, hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing Krishna's pastimes, you naturally develop some affinity towards particular mood of the Vrajvasis. It can be Sridhama and Sudama, then it will be Sakyaras. It can be Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, then it will be Vatsalyaras. And then it can be the Gopis of Vrindavan, then it is Madhuryaras. And with the expert guidance of a Rasika Acharya, the spiritual master who knows the science of Rasa, gradually expert guidance is given of the internal development and cultivation, where we go through these dashas, the Shravan Dasha, the Varan Dasha, the Smaran Dasha, and the Apan Dasha. That is a internal meditation where we start developing that mood, because we start Raganuga Sadhana following the Ragatmika Bhaktas. We follow those moods. And then when you internally develop it and fully, it matures, then when the Lord bestows bhava, because bhava is bestowed by the Lord, at that time, the Sthayi Bhav is revealed and we realize our Swarupa, we realize Krishna's Swarupa, and there is exchange of rasa between us and Krishna, and then these samagris also manifest. Then the real life of devotion begins, in fact, in one sense. But till then, yes, we have this Dasya Bhav, servant of Krishna, and I mentioned how these Uddipans can be used in order to remember Krishna and purify our existence so that we can quickly advance in Krishna consciousness. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Understood. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes. Any other questions anyone has? Okay, there is Satyavrata Chaitanya Prabhuji. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
In the case of portions of Raghunath Goswami, when he was meditating on the banks of Radhakund, see, Radharani comes and holds the sari for to cover the shade, to give the shade to him in the summer. So in this case, the Raghunath Goswami is in the Ragatmika stage, no Prabhu? That is one question. Second thing is the reciprocation of Radharani to hold the sari to give the shade. Is it called Dasya Bhava?
No. We are messing up things here.
Okay.
Firstly, you have to understand the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, or the eternal associates like Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. They are coming here in their male forms, but all are gopis from Braj Leela, firstly. Secondly, they are coming as to exhibit sadhana as sadhakas, but they are eternal perfect devotees. So they are in one sense Ragatmika Bhaktas, but they are doing sadhana in order to teach us so that we can follow in their footsteps. So they have 2 forms. One is the form as the Goswamis. These are also completely spiritual forms, and their spiritual forms as Manjaris in the spiritual world. This is first thing to be understood. So that is why we have not studied Raganuga Sadhana, which comes in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So in Raganuga Sadhana, one of the sadhana is, or the practice of a Raganuga Sadhana is Sadhaka Deha and Siddha Deha. He practices Raganuga Sadhana in his Sadhaka Deha and Siddha Deha. Sadhaka Deha means his body, sadhana. This body is meant for sadhana. So he follows the Goswamis. And in his internal meditation and cultivation, he follows the Ragatmika Bhaktas, the eternal associates, whom he has developed a particular mood. So both in these, in order to attain that bhav, he practices in his Sadhaka Deha and also the Siddha Deha. Siddha Deha is the internal meditation he goes in to develop his spiritual body. So they are eternal Ragatmika Bhaktas in one sense, but they are also acting as sadhakas, but they are not sadhakas. This is the first thing to be understood. Secondly, the reciprocation, because Just like the devotee has love for Krishna and he wants to serve Krishna, Krishna also loves to serve his devotees. And Srimati Radharani also wanted to do that service. So that's why she was holding her sari. So that's it, we should understand. Okay? Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So now we will just take up for a few minutes the Vibhav hoite Anubhav. How from Vibhav, special symptoms or causes of ecstasy comes Anubhav, subsequent ecstasy. So Prabhupada is exactly using this term in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, let us open Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu so that you all are clear. Whatever we are speaking is there in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So this all begins in the after chapter 20, in the southern wave. Yes, I'm sharing the screen. In the divisions of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 general topics: Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vavichari Bhav, and Sahi Bhav. So, the entire southern division is discussing the science of Rasa. And I will directly now go to Vibhav. Okay, Vibhav. Yes. There are several origins or causes of this compulsive love of Krishna, such as Krishna himself, the devotees of Krishna, Krishna's playing on the flute. The effect of is something loving and sometimes loving and sometimes stunted. The cause or basis of relishing transcendental melody is exactly what we mean by Vibhav. The Vibhav is divided into 2, namely basic and impelling. Prabhupada is using different terminologies. Basic is Alamban, impelling is Udipan. Impetus giving, spiritual impetus. Sometimes you have material impetus, so spiritual impetus is Udipan. So then he gives the Praman here about Vibhav. So here somewhere he mentions about somewhere it is there. I'm not able to get because I've not gone through it now. But anyway, I hope devotees are clear. Anubhav are subsequent emotions, or subsequent ecstasy. Vibhava sampurna hoile, anubhava hoy, premera vikara shabha, shuddha premamai. When Vibhav attains completeness, Anubhav is manifested. All the symptoms of ecstatic pure love for Lord Krishna are then manifest. So there are pure ecstatic love which we are feeling for Krishna that is manifest because of Anubhav. When Vibhav attains completeness. So now I will show you this chart in the PPT, and you will have to point out what is Anubhav here. Okay. So here, firstly, which is the Vishaya Alamban and the Ashraya Alamban? Somebody has to point out. Then I will take up what is Anubhav. Who will answer this? Which is Vishaya Alamban and Ashraya Alamban in this picture? Yes, Vikram Singh Raj Purohit Prabhuji.
Krishna, Lord Krishna is Vishyalamban and Mother Yashoda is Ashraya Alamban in this picture, Prabhuji.
Okay, from Krishna's perspective, what is the Vishaya and Ashraya?
From Krishna's perspective, Mother Yashoda is Vishay and Lord Krishna himself is Ashraya, Prabhuji.
He also have love for his mother. Okay.
It's both.
Yes, okay. Now what is the Anubhav here? What is the Anubhav here? What are the Anubhavs? Anand Prabhuji? Anand Prabhu?
Just trying to figure out, Prabhuji. I joined slightly late. Please allow me some time.
Okay, no problem. I'll have to ask Narmada Mataji. No response. Okay. Satanand Chaitanya Prabhuji, what is the anubhav here? Subsequent emotions following vibhav. No response. Sunita Mataji. All are not able to unmute or what? I'm unmuting you here. Anyone who would like to answer, what is the anubhavas? We have discussed this. Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji. Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think it's raising Mother Yashoda hand towards Krishna. That's Anubhav.
Yeah, she is opening her arms. So that love which is there in the heart, Sahiba Vatsalya Bhav, when there are voluntary actions to express that love, that is subsequent emotions following the vibhav. Seeing the object of love, there is Vatsalya Bhav, and now that Vatsalya Bhav is manifesting in the form of subsequent emotions or voluntary actions that are called as anubhavas. Now, is there any other anubhav here, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, apart from Mother Yashoda opening her arms to embrace Krishna?
It's Prabhuji rushing towards Krishna and trying to grab him in the
Yes,
arms.
from Mother Yashoda's point. Any other? Okay, Sunita Mataji has raised her hand. Yes. I want you all to think a little bit. This is all the time it's happening here in this world. We don't realize it. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna is raising his hands towards Mother Yashoda.
Krishna is opening also his hands. So Krishna is also experiencing anubhavas. Yes, excellent. This is what I wanted. Okay. So now in this next picture, yes. Yeah. Okay. Which is the Vishaya Alamban and which is the Ashraya Alamban here? Who will answer this? Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji, we will give a chance first. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the Vishay is the cookies, the biscuits, and Ashray is the child who is, just looking at it.
Yeah, but where is it? It is in the soul of the child, or it is on the...
on his expression, facial expressions, his hands are raised.
No, where exactly is the location of the Ashray? Think about it.
It's on the biscuits.
No, Ashray means, shelter. The child has shelter. The object is here.
Yeah, the object is...
This biscuit is the object.
Yes.
Where exactly is the subject in the child? I'll give you a hint. The soul has love for Krishna. So the soul is the location of that Ashray. So similarly...
His eyes.
No. You see, when you see tasty objects, what really is happening phenomena at the psychological level?
You start drooling over it. You're just...
What does happen? What happens? When you see something very tasty, what happens? Tasty...
Your tongue starts...
So where is Ashray then?
Okay, the tongue.
Tongue. Okay, got it. Good. Excellent. Okay, what is the Uddipan then here?
The biscuits.
The biscuit is Vishaya. Vishaya Alamban, Ashraya Alamban. But what can be other secondary causes where it can bring a deep attraction towards the biscuits?
He's seeing his eyes.
No.
It's quite confusing, Prabhuji.
Yes,
the terms are very confusing, actually.
Yes, yes. But you all know it. That's it. You know it. Okay, I'll give you an example. You like cakes.
Yes.
Okay, you like cakes. I don't know whether you like, but you like cakes. And the moment you see the cake against the Vishay, there is Ashray. You have taste for cakes. You rush towards it. But you can rush more towards it if the cake has some other factors in it. What can be the other factors?
It looks attractive. It
Fine,
tempts
more,
it tempts
something
you.
more, something more I want to. In the cake, there can be some additional things also.
Yeah.
What?
So
There is cream on the cake.
The cream on the cake, the decoration.
The decoration, and then there is the smell of the cake which is coming.
Yeah, yes.
All these further stimulate towards the Vishay, the Ashray going towards the Vishay. So similarly, if there is cream on the biscuits and they are hot, the steam is coming out, all these will, the tongue is more getting agitated, right?
Yes.
So this is how we should understand Udipan. Now, what is the Anubhava here? Okay, who will answer? What are the Anubhava, subsequent emotions? Who has raised a hand? Vikram, we'll see if others. I want Niranjan Prabhu to answer. Niranjan Prabhuji. Niranjan Prabhuji, no response. Reena Mataji. No response. Satanand Chaitanya Prabhuji, what is the subsequent emotion here? Anubhava. Okay. Vikram Prabhuji. Yes.
The boy's excitement on seeing the biscuit and his raising of his hands and standing on his heels.
Yes, excellent, excellent. You're all becoming experts in the science of rasa. If you start applying the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu concept of rasa to everything what is happening in this world, especially with mundane rasa or the mental rasa, then you will very quickly become free from these and try to attain spiritual rasa with the Lord. So it's a very important science and we need to know this very nicely. So we will stop here with the Anubhava. So tomorrow we will take the Satviki Bhavas and the Sanchari Bhavas. Okay. So any other further clarifications, any other questions anyone has? Okay, fine. So we'll stop here. Shri Harinam Chintamani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.